Friends. Welcome to another podcast. My name is Dr. Jason Wiggins, and I am your Gen Z and Millennial expert. Today's date is March 16th, 2021, and we are one day before St. Paddy's Day. So if you have some Irish in you, then tomorrow is your day. So get excited. If you drink, I guess there's always some Jameson and some good Irish beer for whatever you enjoy. So again, hope everybody is having a fantastic Tuesday morning, afternoon, or night, wherever you may be. So I hope everybody is having a great day. And today we have a great topic, and today's topic is about juggling our life. Oh my gosh. You've done it. You did it. What a crazy day you probably had. What a crazy week. What a crazy year. That is what we are up against in 2021. With all the craziness going on in the world, and some of us are working one job, two jobs, three jobs, balancing a family, extracurricular activities, whatever it may be. You are juggling life at its finest. Life used to not be like this. Life used to be a little bit more simpler, but now it's craziness, and that's okay, because the craziness, as long as you can control it and you have a good grasp of it and you feel comfortable with it, having a little craziness is not wrong in your life. I like to always use an example. There's nobody that I know better than myself, so I like to share examples when I was growing up, and I know these are very similar to maybe what your experience, if you're a Gen Z or a millennial and you have a family, whatever it may be. But I can tell you, when I was younger in the Gen Z age bracket, I was working 2 to 3 jobs, trying to have a social life, trying to go to school, and trying to juggle all that. And it was so difficult. There was even a time in my senior year, at the time I was the student body vice president, so I oversaw all of the school functions, activities for Washington State University, and I can tell you, it was a juggling trick. I lived near campus. I worked a full-time job at the time, working with Frito-Lay. I would start my day at 2:30 in the morning, work until about 11, then I would go straight to school. I held office hours for about 20 hours a week, plus I had extracurricular activities. I had a full class load, which I believe at the time was 4 classes, and it was crazy hectic. And I was drinking quad mochas on a daily basis just to get through the day. But you know what? I was having fun. It was craziness, but I like to call it controlled chaos. And even as you get older, I think the controlled chaos is a little bit harder to handle, because even when I was working all those jobs and going to school, it didn't seem that hard. But now, for example, having a young son and a wife and 2 jobs and a podcast I love to do, and today just got a little more hectic. I started my son in Little League T-ball, and I, of course, had to volunteer as an assistant coach just to add something else to my already loaded schedule. But it's okay, because as long as I can manage it, I'll give you a great example of how my day started. I was up at 4:45, got ready, cooked breakfast, couple eggs, toast, was at work by 6 o'clock. And then I worked from 6 till 4 o'clock, came home, and guess who was already tuckered out? My son was taking a nap when I got home on the first day of T-ball. I'm like, this is not going to happen. So I literally had to drag him out of bed, and we went to the baseball field. He got excited when we got there. We played for about an hour or so. He didn't want to leave. He wanted to continue to play and hang out with his newfound friends. And then I came home. I cooked dinner while the wife is still at work. And then I jumped on this podcast. And then after this podcast, I've got a Zoom class to teach online. I've got a business law class to teach. And then probably shortly after that, I will go to sleep. But that is what I call controlled chaos. So if you're Gen Z and millennial and you're going, yes, I know what you're talking about. The difference is controlled chaos and chaos. Chaos is where you don't know what's coming on from the next moment and you're not sure how to handle it. Controlled chaos is you've planned ahead, you've got a daily schedule, you've got enough energy to get through it. If not, then you drink additional cups of coffee, and that's how you feel like you're getting through it. But also, I identify controlled chaos as doing things you enjoy. I, of course, enjoy spending time with my son, and you know what? It's kind of fun throwing the baseball and taking ground balls and having the kids throw them back and realizing you can still catch a ball. And so that was a great out there being an assistant coach. I was never in Little League when I was a kid. I didn't have those opportunities. And so part of controlled chaos is also giving your kids the opportunity to do things you did not do. And that is what I'm doing. So I enjoy participating, helping out the kids, and helping out him at the same time. But that's what I want to get to today. I want to talk about you as Gen Z and millennials. How do you feel about having a hectic schedule? I mean, if you've got two jobs during this pandemic, then you are definitely a step ahead of many, and you should feel very good about that. But it's hard to make a living. It's hard to have a social life while you're working two jobs. And that is the key. How do you get through that? How do you juggle what life is throwing at you? And we talked about prioritizing. Sometimes you have to get rid of things. My mom talked to me the other day. We were talking, and I was telling her about my schedule on a daily basis. She's like, when do you have fun? And I bet somebody's asked you that. As leaders out there, Gen Z and millennials that are working two jobs, going to school full time, people are like, how do you have fun? And I probably have the same answer you do. I'm having fun. I'm enjoying what I'm doing. Maybe you're a workaholic. Maybe people would call me a workaholic because when I'm at work, I'm really having fun. When I'm doing productive things, I'm having fun. When I'm teaching others, I'm having fun. So everything that I'm doing, when it's doing for something for the business or for people to help them along or whatever, that for me is fun. Some people may see that as work, but I don't necessarily think that's the case. So as leaders out there and individuals that are motivated, that have that goal-oriented attitude, that just want to get things done, then these podcasts are for you. As I mentioned before, my son's 4 years old, and he was one of the younger kids on his team. I think there was one boy that was 3.5, and he was 4. But literally, he was wanting to run to first base and running home as fast as he could. And he got very disturbed, and he basically had a meltdown because another kid beat him on the base paths. Basically, they ran around the bases faster than he did. Why? Because he has this innate thing of wanting to win. And I think we all have that innate thing of wanting to win. But as we get older, we learn how to control our emotions. We learn how to control how we win. And that's how we also learn how to control controlled chaos. And that is part of maturing, the maturation process, and finding ways in our life to sometimes we have to minimize things we don't want to do the things we do want to do, the things that make us better individuals, the things that make us have the opportunity to grow within our career, within whatever we're trying to do, learning. Remember, growing does not necessarily mean you have to grow within a company or grow within the current occupation. It means you have a continuous innate ability to want to learn. And that's the same thing as when the child is young. All they want to do is be sponges. And as we grow up or get older, sometimes it's more the comfortable things that we want to do and not the things that challenge us in life. So that's why people don't typically like chaos. Why? Because chaos promotes challenges, and challenges are the thing that makes us have to think. It makes us have to think how we're going to get out of something. It makes us think how we're going to improve. How are we going to overcome that obstacle? That's what a challenge is. And that's why chaos is not thing people welcome. What's another thing for chaos? It's conflict. So what is also that is called? It's called conflict management. So that is what you're doing when you're trying to juggle a schedule, trying to juggle life, all those curveballs that are being thrown at you. But guess what? We have some good news. Do you want to hear the good news? I know you do. In most places around the world, with the exception of a few, we have daylight savings time. Hooray for daylight savings time. And what is daylight savings time? It means you get an extra hour of sunshine, meaning that means it gives you an hour less excuse to get things done. Now, you can't tell me that's not a great thing. So when you're trying to get through your day, you're trying to juggle, you're trying to do all the things you want to do. If you're working 2 jobs, you're going to school, your extracurricular activities, you're trying to juggle a family, marriage, boyfriend, girlfriend, non-binary, whatever you may be dating, it doesn't matter because you all have the same challenges. And the challenges are to get through the day, to get everything done you need to get done. And we didn't even talk about on top of that. And I'll be honest, I'll be the first one to tell you, all you ladies out there, all you women, we just had Women's Day, just within the last week, and I can't tell you enough. Women are amazing. They do so much. They manage the household in a lot of cases. They go grocery shopping. They juggle the kids. Not that the guys don't, not that the husbands don't, the families, but women they do more. And that's a simple fact. I have not seen that fact refuted yet. Guys, we work hard. I get it. We try to do what we can for the family, but the women take on the extra burden. And that is an extra challenge to all the ladies out on this podcast. So thank you very much for everything you do. And if you're a Gen Z and you're a millennial and you have a chance to thank your mom for what they do. Thank your wife for what they do. And, they will appreciate that. So today we talked about conflict management, or also known as controlled chaos, and how to, promote the ability to overcome all the obstacles. And part of the obstacle, remember, is your attitude. If you go in with your head down and you're going, oh my gosh, how am I going to get done? How am I going to do this? I really can't stand what I'm doing. Well, guess what? You're going to struggle. You're going to struggle getting things done. Struggle. Remember the mindset. The mindset is what's going to get you to a happy family life, a happy career life, the ability to have those great relationships with your son or daughter, and to be able to control chaos, manage conflict, and enjoy the fruits of your labor. Remember, if you're not having fun, you're not enjoying life, then there's something wrong, because we all have to find that happy place, that happy zone where we can go to. But that means you need to be doing things you enjoy. If you're doing something at work and that's part of that controlled chaos, but you're not enjoying it, then you need to find something else. You need to do something, because we work over half of our lives. And I always say part of that controlled chaos means you need to enjoy the controlled chaos. I always like to say, life is like being a sports agent. You're always on the phone. You're always trying to figure out the next best deal. How can you promote your client? How can you get the things done? And how can you continue to enjoy life? So again, as always, I really appreciate your listenership. Again, please share with your friends, family, coworkers. We got a great listenership, and I love doing this. This is not work for me. This is part of my controlled chaos, but I enjoy it. So as long as you're listening, I'm going to keep providing content. So again, thank you as always. In the morning, in the afternoon, or in the night. Be safe, take care, and we'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye.